Hi guys, welcome to London Players Guild and welcome to our podcast. We are here today with Scott Sedman from Out of Lives,
Hello.
and we are with our brand new sponsored player for London Players Guild, which is Nathan Hills, formerly
Hi.
from Team EXT,
Yes.
but this time representing London Players Guild.
London's Players Guild, yeah. Holding the banner high.
Yes, hopefully. I mean, you've done really well so far, and as I said, since I met you, you're one of the better players in this game, and I
Thanks.
believe in you.
Fingers crossed for 2020.
Yep. So today's topic is going to be very simple: the surge leaders, the multicolor leaders, and what it's going to bring to the game. So starting with the fact that they're actually bringing out leaders in expansion sets, which is something brand new. Usually we only had set of cards. This time we actually get a leader on top of that. And not weak leaders either. What's your opinion? What's your take on the fact on how they're trying to do the expansion sets?
For me, I think it's quite a good way of generating hype for the new style of which they're kind of approaching with the surge leaders. Because obviously how they've been released so far, they've been released in different sets. So obviously the expansion set now is obviously giving us two. We've got two coming up in the promo packs, and then we've got the last one in the set 9.
Yes,
So
looking at the set 9, we're probably going to get another one in the set 9. So all of the color combinations are going to be covered with the leaders.
Yeah. So it's nice in that sense where it's able to slowly generate hype for these new archetypes or multicolored leaders. But personally, for me, I'd rather them all be releasing kind of the same set. So you have them, like, if they were all to be released in set 9, it would look nice in terms of going through each of the leaders and seeing there's a unique one for each set. And you'd be like, oh, set 9 is the set where they release surge leaders. Well, you could say, yeah, it is, but they also came out in the expansion set. So I get the idea, and it's nice because it's obviously they've allowed to they've created decks for them as well. But I would have preferred them all kind of from one specific box.
Of course, there's also the problem that expansion sets are usually short printed.
Yeah,
very much so. Yeah. I mean, I like it. I always like it when they do expansion sets. It gives us a look into what Bandai are thinking. Like the first expansion sets was Overrealm, and then we had Aegis and Arrival.
Mhm.
I'm probably missing one. So the Surge, it's kind of what they do. It's like a sneak peek of where their game's kind of going, or at least where Bandai think it's going to go. And we already know the keywords for the next one as well, but I forgot the names of them, so that's fun. But yeah,
Successor and Invoker is the
no. It's Unison and something else. It's Topo and Vegeta. That's the next expansion.
Expansion set.
Oh, okay, sure.
I agree. Like the problem with expansion sets is it's the initial product drop and then they're gone. It was a big case back in the day with Overrealm with the Mass Saiyans, and it was super expensive to get hold of.
Time Patrol Trunks, that was the expensive one. That's the one that was hitting $50 a piece, yes.
Really?
Yes. Okay. I thought it was always Mask Saiyan.
Mask Saiyan was hitting 25 only. Mask Saiyan,
okay.
Because Time Patrol Trunks was the only card that was consistency for any deck. Any deck could play that, and it was consistency. Look at the top 2, 1 to your hand and 1 top or bottom. It was a brilliant consistency for anyone. And then bouncing it back to your hand with certain effects.
Oh, well, there you go. See,
it was just like
story in Peter,
and there was no sparking abilities at that point in time. So it was literally any deck could just play this as a free value card.
In this case, it's going to be a bit easier to get the leaders rather than the cards in it, because
it's not a tower situation.
A lot of people will buy 2 sets, and because they want to have a playset of the card, but then they will get 2 leaders. So leaders are going to be fairly easy to come across, rather.
You'll get 4 because there's non-foil versions as well, isn't there?
Oh god, there's foils and non-foils.
Would you get a foil leader and a non-foil leader?
No, I think you always get a foil leader, because we didn't have. Did we have a non-foil leaders in Brussels? I actually do not remember.
I think you did. I swear you did. I swear I saw.
I think you had non-foils, yeah.
Because I know that there are non-foils in.
Well, it'd be just weird though if you had a foil of every card and then a non-foil of all but the leader.
I think the leader is always going to be foil, and the rest of the
Yeah.
cards is going to be one foil, one non-foil.
Which isn't a bad thing, having them being available, because look at Toa. I mean, she's not super relevant now, but God, she was
When she
hiking
was,
when.
yeah. Shall we then cross to the first pair of our leaders, which is going to be Super Saiyan Son Goku into Super Saiyan God Son Goku's Surge of Divinity, and Piccolo into Son Gohan and Piccolo's Surge of Consciousness. So those are the first two Surge leaders we've seen. Actually, Goku was the first one we've seen, representing the red and yellow and blue and green from the last set, from set 8.
Yeah.
Although Gohan and Piccolo doesn't really represent anything from set 8, if you think about it.
Just that one SR, isn't it?
Yes, just that one SR, and it's a good control card. It's good control leader in that regards, because it has
Yes. Yeah.
it has two best control colors for the control, I think, with the effect that it's given. Whereas
I think
Goku is clearly made for working with the there was the whole chain to play the 3-drop Goku with critical and offering. Yeah.
is it Dawn of Divinity?
Yes, I think so.
I think you nailed it pretty much there. I think the Piccolo in itself of those colours is a very controlly colour scheme. The ability itself as well, on the flip side, is a slow ability that you basically want to generate card advantage. And the interesting thing about it is that you don't have to attack to draw cards. So it sets yourself up nicely to play a defensive game while you're not feeding your opponent any cards until you're at a point where you're able to play something which is either going to be attacking with critical or something like Gogeta 7 where you're able to reset their hand and then start slowly eking away at their life while consistently resetting.
I think it's also
With
important to mention that Piccolo draws at the very beginning of the game, and so essentially you can start with 7 cards in hand when you go first, and also it draws before your charge phase, which is one of the strongest possible times to draw, because you always want to draw to see an additional card to see what you're doing, but usually
yeah,
it's after you charged. In this case, it's before you charge.
Yeah, so you can see if you're going to want to charge something that you're about to draw into. It's pretty good.
and it helps to if you've mulliganed and you've been either unlucky or you haven't hit the card that you want to charge. Like most people want to charge turn one of multicolored energy, so they have the blue green cards or the whatever multicolored cards that comes in untapped if you control an energy exhaust card already. So it gives you another if you're on the play, it gives you another 2 chances to find one, because obviously you look at a top card. If it's not a multicolored, you can put it on the bottom and draw. So you have 2 options to see one there, and then obviously when you're on the draw in that matchup, you've got an additional basically 3 chances. Obviously your draw and then the leader's auto. So it definitely helps make your deck more consistent if you're looking for a specific card.
It helps you fix your draws, right? It helps you dig
Yeah.
for the cards you need. If you need to see one particular card, you can just, if it's not the card on the top of your deck, you just put it at the bottom and draw 2 cards. You've just seen 3 cards of your deck. If you make your deck carefully, you won't shuffle your deck. So you exactly know what you put at the bottom of the deck, and you can plan based on that.
Which is pretty interesting, because eventually, like with this leader, you're probably going to be playing a long game, so it is relevant knowing what cards you've seen, which kind of helps you understand what's left in your life. And if you say, "Oh, I'm going to bottom a negate now to the bottom of my deck because I don't need it yet," you know that you're not likely to see that negate again, so you're going to be a negate down for this game until you get to the very late game where you might see it again.
When it might not really be that important anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say the flip side as well. The awaken abilities in general is the awaken surge. When I first saw it, I couldn't work out how to best describe it. But obviously, you have to choose a blue and green card. If we're looking at the Piccolo, you have to put a blue and green card underneath it, and then you draw 3 and untap 1, which is basically the same as drawing a card, untapping an energy. Obviously, you do get to cycle through some irrelevant cards in your hand. Like if you're trying to go for game, you can pitch your negates and then try and draw combo power. Or if you're being attacked and you need to find something more relevant than you can obviously then do that. But it is basically a draw 1, untap 1.
Yes, but it's also more of a cycling.
Yes,
way more of a cycling. Because you get to see additional free cards from your deck, which is enormous. Goku is working a bit differently. It's definitely more aggressive leader, because it requires you to attack. You draw 2 cards and then you ditch a card from hand. Can help easy setup of the graveyard if you need it. Drop area, sorry. If you need it set up for anything. interesting for setting up that chain that I said, because it's a 2-drop Goku that uses 5 cards from the drop area to play a 3-drop from the deck and give it some additional skills.
Yeah.
But what's interesting on the leader is its flip side effects, because they are not really what you would expect from aggressive deck. Because you can remove your opponent's board,
Mm.
which you generally don't see board wipes in aggressive decks. You would rather want something more attacking. The second effect, give this card plus 10,000 power and critical, is really good
Yeah.
for
It's
aggression.
also quite like it's offensive and defensive because it can be used to activate battle as well.
Mm.
Yes, and it's for the duration of the turn, not of the duration of the battle. So you can
Exactly.
make it during your opponent's turn to be a 25k leader.
Yep. It's pretty handy. And it's at 5 or less life, so especially in this format, that's pretty obtainable quite quickly.
I think it's kind of interesting how I still don't think they've correctly built a decent aggressive leader, or there isn't really an aggressive deck at the moment. But it's interesting how they're trying to work these leaders. Like if we look at the last set when we had the Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku leader, which I think awakens on 2 life.
The same
Yes,
as
yes.
starter deck Baby Vegeta.
You're obviously having to go all in on that attack once you're awakened. Obviously, you take a life and it gives itself double strike, or it restands itself. But if you haven't killed them at that point, you're pretty much dead. At least with this type of leader, if you're obviously wanting to play a more aggressive deck, but because, like Scott said, it's an active battle. If you commit heavy into your kill turn and you've tapped out, and your opponent's played, I don't know, Gogeta Hero Revived or a threat that's going to kill you, you can activate battle and you can make that triple strike card just a
Single.
basic vanilla,
Yeah.
exactly. So it gives you a lot more redundancy. If you are unable to kill your opponent on that turn, you have a bit of redundancy in the fact that you might not be dead and you have another turn. So I think it's like they're trying ways to promote an aggressive deck, which means you're not completely all in because you have some form of protection.
So you have something to
Which is
fall back
interesting.
on. Yeah, that's actually a fair point.
We're
even-
slow seeing that in set 9 as well with some of the cards that are coming out, like just basically being like, if you've gone for a bomb turn, you're still going to be a little bit okay. Like the those new free drops that give you 5k combo, but they also have an activate main effect. Stuff like
Yeah,
that, little bits like that.
And the 10k
I mean,
power as well is for the
those three
duration of the
drops-
turn.
Sorry, those 3 drops extra cards are essentially a 5k combos. That's that.
Yeah.
The 10k combo power, the 10k ability on Goku Surge of Divinity is to the duration of the turn, though. So you can
Yes.
also, if you're against an equally aggressive deck, or there isn't many skills that you want to negate for the turn,
You can essentially
could
double
use-
Senzu.
for free. Yeah.
Yeah.
That can be used very defensively, and I like that. I like the fact that that effect can be used either offensively or defensively. So Broly and Broly Surge of Brutality and Kefla into Kefla Surge of Ferocity. Shall we tackle Broly first? Because a lot of people are talking about Broly because it's an OG Broly, not a Broly BR. And it's essentially a continuation from the set 8 engine that set 8 or set 7 that they got the engine.
7.
Set 7.
Yep.
Continuation from the set 7 from Dormant Legend. Yes, because that was the red green. Yeah.
Yep. That was the field spell and stuff.
Because of this card, there is a couple of promos that actually let you search or activate Dormant Legend. And it has a very interesting draw on the front side, which is whenever you combo with a red or green card, you draw 1 card. It's only once per turn, though.
But that's on both players' turns.
Yep.
Yes, that is correct.
So you could have. So your leader is always against one basic attack. It's always a 15k. You can combo with a 5k and draw a card.
Or you can combo with Unbreakable Super Saiyan Son Goku or the
Draw 2 cards,
Infernal Villainy Cell and draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's both red and green.
I think the Broly leader is very strong. Even as the front side just allows you to apply pressure for next to nothing with your attack, because you're attacking with a 15k again. As I said, we combo with a 0 cost 5k power card. It cycles, so you're always attacking 15k, and then obviously on the defense you have it as well. So it means you can realistically keep a high life total while continuously applying pressure to your opponent's leader.
Yeah, so you're essentially not negging on throwing away a 5-drop combo, like sort of type thing. Yeah, like you're balancing it out.
And even when you're defending against your opponent's 10k into 10k, you don't lose card advantage, and yet
No,
you
you
take
get
no
your
damage.
card back. Yeah.
Yeah, because the flip side is this leader doesn't actually draw when it attacks.
And none of the
So-
surge leaders draw, like properly draw.
Piccolo does.
On the flip side, it doesn't.
Oh, sorry, not the flip. The non-flip side. The non-flip side on the Brody technically doesn't draw, so you're not
Yeah.
Yes,
generating
'cause
card
it only,
advantage.
It only replaces a card. That is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a way,
So,
you create an advantage, but not a card advantage, because you stop your opponent's attacks from hitting you.
Yeah,
Mm.
your advantage is in the fact that you'll generally have a high life total for
Yep.
a longer period of time.
And after you awaken, you have this beauty that requires 3 life or less, and it's only activate battle, unlike the other 2 leaders we've seen, which were either main or battle. This one is only in battle. You can choose up to 1 battle card in your drop area, combo with it, and the leader gets double strike for the duration of the turn. Which is interesting, because you don't need to combo on the leader attack. You can combo on something else.
Yep.
Or you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and KO it.
Yeah.
Just remove anything that's not indestructible.
Yes. Yeah. Again, this is like another one of those leaders which is very good for offensive or defensive actions. Being the active battle, choose up to 1 battle card and you drop air and combo with it. Allows you to cycle a super combo. So, because this is a red-green leader,
That is
the
true.
super combo of choice is going to be the defending Father Paragus.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, 100%.
So
Anytime you have green.
Yeah, exactly. You have to play it. It's one of the best super combos in the game, and it is the best green super combo.
Yep.
So that allows you to get a free cycle off your super combo defensively, and then even when you're going for game, it gives you another draw 2 and filter air, something that isn't a combo power in your hand. And then again, your opponent can't go all in on an attack with a battle card if you still have cards underneath your Broly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because if they
just gonna
commit
go
to a
bye-bye.
battle card, yeah, you just pop the battle card, which makes it again defensively a very strong leader, and offensively has the potential, because it's an active battle. If you don't negate it in the attack, then you can just go, okay, well now I'm going to give it double strike and go all in.
It's probably got a very good matchup against Baby. At least that's what I was thinking initially.
I'm not sure. That depends if they can drop early on any of the Brolys, because Brolys are good against Baby, mostly for the reason that they can KO their combo power, so they can't do the rival. And Broly is actually not an aggressive strategy in my eyes.
That's fair.
It's way more of a control one.
I think the new Broly is more like how Pan used to be.
Yeah.
When there was Red Green Pan, Sandy Caters put a list together playing Broly, and we played a couple of games yesterday, and it did look kind of like how Pan used to play out, where you eke advantage either by drawing cards, or in this case they play like you can just play the 2-drop Broly, the one that's normally like an energy exhaust, but if you have a multi-card you play it untapped. So you're making them discard cards, so your card advantage is basically making a battle card and making them drop a card from their hand. So it seems more like a good mid-range value engine deck with the ability of just maintaining board pressure and with the potential for a free double strike off your leader.
And then at some point going into dropping the Dormant Legend one way or another and going into a rival Brolys.
Yeah.
That looks like a way that it's going to go. And Kefla, which is by far the weirdest of the leaders. So it actually doesn't draw you any cards. What it does is once per turn lets you play a Universe 6 from your hand with cost 2 or less. So of course everyone is thinking about the Kale from the starter deck. Or sorry, expert deck. Whenever she's played, look at the top 10 and play Cauliflower Kaba with cost 2 or less.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, because she only needs to be played from hand, so you use Kefla to play her from hand on turn 1. and then turn to another one. And you can
Yeah.
rinse and repeat. Because veggies are generally very aggressive, Kefla does not, this leader, God bless, does not untap any energy. It
Oh,
draws
alright.
4 cards though. That's a lot of engine cards you can see for Champavados or something like that.
Mm.
And after it awakens, the effect activate main only this time. So we had the ones that come in expansion sets are activate main battle, and the one that come from a promo pack, one is activate battle, one is activate main.
The Piccolo is activate main, I think.
No, it's a main battle. Both of
Oh, it
them are
is.
activate main battle, so you can actually make your opponent warp 2 cards during their turn if you want to.
That's
If they
pretty
attack
interesting.
you. Yeah. Kefla lets you either draw 1 card and choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and put them at the bottom of their owner's deck. Or at the beginning of opponent's next main phase, you choose up to 3 multicolor cards in your drop area and add them to your hand.
That's crazy.
It's good in the sense that it draws you 3 cards, but
Yeah.
if you look at the Universe 6 cards that are currently printed, most of the ones that have been played in blue-yellow, they're single color cards.
That is true. This
So-
effect would be way better if you needed to depend a lot on Aegis, for example. So if you played defensively.
Yes.
Mm. I mean, could you theoretically not use the red-blue Champa super combo and just grab that?
I'm actually going to change my opinion of this. Because this card doesn't state that you need to choose 3 multicolor cards that are blue and yellow.
Yeah, so could you
It's
not
just
grab that
3.
Champa and then restand energy and stuff like that?
Champa. Which
Beerus. Damn it, I
Beerus.
did it.
the
Yeah.
new Beerus multicolor super combo.
Yeah.
What does the super combo say? What's the criteria?
If your leader is blue or
Blue
red,
or red.
Blue or red?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it would fit blue.
it doesn't check the life, doesn't check for sparking, it doesn't draw cards either.
It just has to be your opponent's turn.
Yes,
The-
but I think it needs to restand the multicolor red-blue.
Ah.
That would be
And
the caveat.
I think as well, if you pick up cards that aren't Universe 6, like the main way, obviously this leader is a very aggressive leader.
Oh, yeah.
With the unflip side is obviously what we said, you can go turn 1, make a 2-drop, turn 2, make a 2-drop, and then play a 2-drop with the
Exactly.
2 charges. But all of the Universe 6 cards cycle and find more Universe 6 cards.
Mm.
So if you wanted to play the super combo, there's no way of finding that other than just naturally drawing it.
I
Where
think they
I
might
think-
make a super combo for each of the dual colors, and
yeah,
I
yeah.
think that the one that's going to be blue-yellow might actually be Universe 6.
It
I'd
would
suspect
make
so, so to make this more viable.
Yeah.
Which, if it would, then it makes this leader look a lot better than it is.
Mm.
I think currently I'm not very impressed by this leader
Oh, I agree.
but it's entirely based on the support for Universe 6.
Mm.
And if the super combo does something pretty good, because you can still get back the Union Patara and Kefla.
Yeah, that's true.
So you have good targets to hit back if they print more targets, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Can you get rapid? You can get rapid movement hit as well, can't you?
Is that the one
That's a 0 cost 5k combo.
that? Yeah.
But it's blue yellow, so arrival.
Yeah.
It's a free arrival enabler.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly it. I think what we might see happening is Kefla using bit of the U6 as a value engine and then playing a 3-color control deck.
Kefla try. Oh god.
Yes. I would
mean,
not be surprised
it could
because you
happen.
draw 4 cards, so you can actually replenish the hand for control. It's already in blue, so it can play D-Magics and can play Senzus, obviously.
Yeah.
So adding one more color, like for example green, and using the Uni 6 engine as a value engine to put in more combo power on board, that might be actually a way to do it.
There's definitely I think this opens a lot of possibilities, which I think is a good thing, but it's also terrifying.
This effect is going to be way more terrifying when 3-colored cards are going to be introduced to the game.
Oh my god, dirt. Hopefully that's way off.
Yeah. Having access, being able to pick up any multicolored cards is obviously relevant.
Yeah.
And if they start putting tri-colored cards in, then this might see play outside of a more aggressive shell. I think as it stands, I would be hard pressed to play this leader over, say, someone like the Piccolo Gohan
Yeah.
leader. If I wanted to play a
I think
controlling
that's a
deck,
fair. I think that's a fair
I
thing.
think that's a fair statement. But I think what this leader could give you compared to Piccolo and Gohan, you can actually go into Meteoric Kefla fairly easily with the setup that this leader allows you. Problem is that then you might be stuck with a lot of Uni 6 materials that you have nothing to do with. And it's not exactly a control material in that case. Whereas
sure.
Kefla on its own, the one with Aegis, is actually a really powerful tool.
Sure, yeah. This leader is interesting, and I think it'll be quite interesting to see how people make their builds, if they just make it more aggressive, or if they do, like you say, play more of the higher cost Universe 6, which I think most of them don't really see that much play, but having this leader might,
Change
kind of
that.
push that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's also going to be one of those cards where it's like every time U6 comes out, does this leader get broken? Like it's going to be one of those. Like this is always going to be present whenever U6 support comes out.
Unless they're going to swap the colors for U6 again.
Let's not do
Because
that.
they've already done that once. Because
Yeah.
Let's not do that.
U6 started as a green,
Red.
Green.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
And then they added the other two.
They'll be the first rainbow. Oh god.
Taste the rainbow.
Rainbow Kefla.
Oh my god.
I want to see the first rainbow deck in Dragon Ball that's being competitive. I'm actually curious to see if they're going to make like an archetype that's supposed to be rainbow. Without
Hey, we got
using
that draft
4
box
color
Vegeta.
cards.
I really like the draft box Vegeta, but there's just no
Yeah,
real
no.
incentive for it.
I'm waiting for what they're going to do with the leader in the next draft box, but that's a different topic of
Sure.
conversation.
We can fangirl about that another time, Peter.
Yeah.
We
And
have
this
one
one,
more Surge leader.
this one is going to be very quick. I don't really want to go in depth about this because we don't know all the cards from set 9 yet.
Yeah.
But the fact that we are getting Surge leaders outside of the expansion sets into the main sets does give you an idea that there might be Surge leaders being introduced in every set so far.
Mm.
They're concentrating on the multicolor cards a lot right now. And we can expect probably a Jiren multicolor leader. Or maybe a Zeno. 'cause
maybe
they made
Toppo or Brienne.
Yes, but we can expect something from the Universal Saga because I don't
Oh,
think they
100%.
would. I don't think they would do Cell as a multicolor leader in this case. Especially they just put in Ultra Instinct Son Goku. I think it's going to be Jiren.
That's
Like
fair.
Jiren into Jiren and Universe 11 or something like that.
Mm.
At least that's my guess. It might be the Ribrianne, as you said.
Or the Toppo.
I don't think it's going to be Toppo because it's the idea of Ultra Instinct Goku going against someone, right?
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Because they're supposed to be.
Thematically.
Yes, they are supposed to be pitted against each other.
Yeah.
But what do you think about the design of Surge leaders altogether from what we've seen, from how the front side works, how the Awaken works, how their backside works? What's your opinion? Do you think it's good for the game? Do you think it's bad for the game? Do you expect insane power creep like essentially happened with Black Shenron leaders? Or what is it that you expect from the Surge leaders to happen?
I think the fact that the majority of the leaders, with the exception of the Ultra Instinct Son Goku, they're all hit by all the generic sideboard hate cards.
Mm.
So if we look at the Piccolo, which is blue-green, it's a very strong leader, but
TN hit.
most people will be able to bring in 3 copies of TN, some number of copies of Haru Haru, and all of these cards will have good matchups against the majority of the leaders because the blue-green gets hit by TN and Haru Haru, the red-yellow gets hit by TN and Haru Haru, again, blue-yellow. So all of these cards, with the exception of the blue-red leader, which we're looking at now, the Son Goku one, that's only hit by TN. But it gives you access to a lot of hate cards, and you can always bring them in, and you'll have that kind of advantage over them. So I think they're pushed. Like their abilities are very good, but I think it also they can be sideboarded heavily against just by naturally having relevant cards in your sideboard.
Okay. Don't you think that there is a lot of power in the effects that they're given though, and the
they're definitely
abilities
strong
to
effects.
build around them?
For sure. But I think once you've awakened, you lose any form of card advantage. You obviously have your 2 cards underneath, which will obviously do something, and that's how you're either trying to win the game or stay alive. But you lose any form of hand advantage. So I think normally the idea is to hold off awakening for as long as possible with these leaders. And although you can awaken whenever you want, most of them have limitations of when you can start using your main active battle on the other side.
Mm.
So I think you basically just hold off awakening for as long as possible, try and get as much card advantage, and then awaken. And it is interesting that the awaken side doesn't draw, and how it only works with 2 cards. There's no way of putting other cards underneath your leader.
Unless you're Majin Buu.
Yes, before they make a Majin Buu Surge
Yeah.
leader.
That takes more cards. That'll be quite interesting.
Because there is negate cards for Majin Buu that lets you put your opponent's battle cards under your leader.
Boo makes you cookie. Best card in the game.
Yep.
Nathan,
personally-
you should know. I played it against you.
Yeah. I still don't know what it does. I remember playing you against that deck, and you played a Boo, and I'm like, am I dead? What's happening now? And you're like, oh no, Boo makes you cookie. You take my
I
stuff.
personally think that the leaders are well balanced as far as the game is, because of what you said. There is good options to counter them, but they also have good options to play the cards because they represent 2 colors. Like any of the multicolor red leaders can use, for example, after image technique, or is that all you've got?
Yeah.
Any of the blue leaders can use dimension magics. Any of the green leaders can use paragas. It creates a lot of possibilities. I do hope that we're going to get more than 1 surge leader for each color combination though. That's my wish. I do hope that we're going to see also more of the multicolored super combos, because the fact that they don't draw a card but have different effects that can be called utility effects, I think that's actually quite good.
Same. Changing what super combos are is like, it's not a bad thing. Like super combos have always been a way to draw and get a plus 10k thing, and to kind of change that formula a little bit, I think that's quite an interesting step for the
But the
game to take.
but the multicolor super combos also give
Give
in
the
some
10K.
power to the arrival cards.
Yeah,
It's a 0
yeah, that's
cost
true.
10k multicolor combo.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, go on.
I'd say we've seen similar super combos before. We've seen, obviously Shigesh being the main one. It doesn't draw a card, but Shigesh was, for obvious reasons, busted.
Yes.
A 0 cost player, a free battle card. Yeah. And there was also an android.
Yes, but the
Stout Heart 16.
Yeah, but that's very limited one, because your leader needs to be a green android, and then your opponent ditches a card from hand.
Yeah, but I think these super combos themselves were very good. So as long as they keep, if this is the avenue they want to take and go, you don't have to draw cards with super combos. You can have these cool other abilities instead. I think it's kind of nice for the game, and it kind of establishes a more healthy format where you don't just have to draw cards off your super combo. You can, my opponent might have a red-blue super combo here and have access to a free Senzu beam.
Yeah.
So it's more things that you have to play around rather than going, if they super combo, they draw a card.
I think what's also important to remember is that those multicolor super combos are never going to be something you play 4 of. In my opinion.
Depending on what it is, I would tend to agree.
Can you imagine what effect? Because they're trying to put good limitations on them. Like, for example, the Beerus super combo only untaps red-blue multicolor card during your opponent's turn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very defensive super combo.
I mean, they went away from untapping during your turn flat out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing, because, I mean, Storm decks were made, right?
Right, very much so.
Yeah, they've definitely considered that when they built that super combo.
I think they've been pretty good with the red-blue as an entire thing. Like, I think that was the one color combination everyone was terrified of, and I think looking at, because we've got what red-blue is, they've done a pretty good job of red-blue.
Well, the topic is what they did with red, blue, and other color combinations. That's going to be a topic for a different podcast. When we have all the cards from set 9, we'll be talking about them.
That's fair.
So that is definitely going to be happening. For now,
my only thought about the Surge leaders is that I hope they don't print more of them in promo packs.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I hope that they're going to be part of the core sets. But looking at
Yeah.
how the block works, this is a third set of this block.
Mm.
I think this is going to be the last set of this block, and they're going to move to a new block soon.
Yeah, set 10
Yeah.
introduces a new block. Or is it? No, it'll be
I think
Draft
set
Box 4. 5.
Draftbox 5. I think Draftbox 5 might still be part of this block.
Ah, okay. Ah.
It's
Yeah, it
just a
makes sense to start at set 7 rather than a draft box. Set,
Yeah.
set,
Set
10.
10. Yes.
Jesus, set 7. We're going back in time.
Set 7 was the first one that had the
Infinite Unity.
yes, that was the
Yeah.
first one that had the multicolor cards.
We're going to have set 7 too. Just to confuse everyone.
But yes, I think there's going to be one of each multicolor super combos in this set, and
Hopefully.
2 surge leaders. That's my prediction. We'll see how wrong I was. Thank you everyone for watching. If you are watching us live on Twitch, then please consider following us or subscribing if you have Twitch Prime. If you're watching us on YouTube, please leave a like, comment if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to see more videos from us. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next week.